viewers, welcome back to another episode of the Vasudha Madaan show, where we harness the leadership journey of leaders from various industries. And today we have with us someone who is multi-talented. So we have with us Mr. Gaurav Wadhwa from Epoch Consultancy. Uh, Gaurav has served hospitality industry and is also a data scientist and an accomplished HR analyst. Right now, he combines all his skills and experiences to help many carve out their own journey of career. A true leader indeed, isn't it? So let's welcome Gaurav onto the show. Hi, Gaurav. Most welcome to the Vasudha Madan show.
Thanks, Vasudha. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Great to have you here. So, Gaurav, I would love for you to share with our audience more about you. More about you. When I say more about you, I don't mean specifically in the sense of only your professional background. It would be lovely if you would share with us the intertwining, the interplay of your professional and personal journey. Let's hear it.
Sure. So, I'll start from like obviously the first this thing is professional this thing. I'll start with I am a hotel management graduate from IHM Mumbai. I in fact wanted to be a chef at one point of time. I used to cook
Awesome.
mean tandoori chicken and
Wow.
but don't ask me to make you a cup of tea right now. I've forgotten all about it.
Absolutely not.
So yeah, there was a time when I used to be a good chef, but
Yeah.
unfortunately had some health troubles, couldn't become a chef.
Hmm.
Went into some other careers.
Hmm.
Currently, I'm heading a company called as Epoch Consulting. We're a team of about 10 people, and we help career professionals in their job search. So we help companies find the right talent. For their for their companies basically. So this is what we do. As far as personal, I have a daughter who's 6 years old, and yeah, she's the love of my life. I stay with my family. Schooling from Kendriya Vidyalaya, which we are. Your school friends are the ones whom you kind of stay in touch with. So I am in fact still in touch with my school friends. We are four of them. I actually wanted. So after 12th, obviously, how it was, there were not many career options at that time. आपसे पूछा जा रहा था, you want to become a doctor or an engineer. So I had no clue about it. In fact, the only reason I went to do hotel management is because that was the first call that I got at that time. And I got IHM Mumbai. Me being from Delhi, what happens is that उस time पे होता था कि यार बॉम्बे में लड़कियां अच्छी होंगी.
Ah,
So that's the reason I went to Mumbai, to be very honest.
ठीक है, ठीक है.
Obviously. So, so that was the reason I went to Mumbai. There was no particular
Gaurav,
reason, but
beware,
I
you are
hated
still
Mumbai.
in Delhi.
I hated Mumbai. I'm telling you. Like the last 1.5 year of Mumbai was like very, very bad for me. You know, so I hated Mumbai to be very honest. Unfortunately, had some health issues because of which things got intertwined and like so last 1 year wasn't that pleasant to be very honest. It kind of changed the direction of my life also. I was actually diagnosed with a tumor in my spinal cord at that time. This was, I think,
Mm-hmm.
second year of my this thing. Had to
Mm-hmm.
go through a surgery after my second year. And
Mm-hmm.
then again, the tumor kind of grew back and went through another surgery after my, third year when I came back to Delhi after my course. I had about 6 jobs at that time. Like I told you, I wanted to be a chef.
Okay.
Unfortunately, couldn't join any of them. Took a break for I think about 6 8 months. Did my
Mm-hmm.
rehab and everything, and joined my first job through a reference. Which was my first job actually was a 2,000 rupees salary job. Uh,
Oh,
so it kind of
incredible.
started from there.
Incredible.
It was kind of a little disheartening at that time because you kind of you've done a very good professional course. You see your batchmates moving up in life, and then you're kind of just starting as a very at a very low level and everything, and then obviously you're still struggling with your health and still kind of trying to come up with terms, with all those things.
Hmm.
So it
Yeah.
was a difficult period, no doubt. And yeah, so I mean, then I did my MBA from Symbiosis, got married in 2011, sorry, 2013. 2000, 2013, yeah,
Not
2013.
bad. If you're,
2013.
if it is predated, it's okay. She won't
I
feel
am
bad.
still confused actually.
She won't feel bad.
Huh. So 2013 is
Okay.
when I got married.
Uh-huh.
Uh, did I mean I kind of then about I think 2016 is I was in a job actually. Then I got into this staffing and recruitment field. I joined a
Hmm.
company in 2006. Worked there for 12 years. Things were getting a little monotonous. So I mean then what happened is that I thought let's do something else. Let's kind of increase and improve your knowledge and everything. Did a course in data analytics and HR analytics. And That's about it. And then from there on, it was started my own company in 2018. So it's been good 5 years now, and yeah, the journey is continuing.
If I have to sum up your journey in a few words, I mean, a few words which are kind of striking out for me right now is first and foremost, I would say the courage. Despite the physical challenges around that time, you managed to kind of sail out of it in a mainstream way. I think is great to come out of something like tumor, however small or severe it would have been. So a lot of respect to you for that, first of all. And
Actually,
it sounds
I've
really, yeah, yeah,
I've
please.
always believed कि वो एक लाइन है ना अपना जो होता है अच्छे के लिए होता है. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I've always believed that things would have been very different in my life if I hadn't gone through that injury. I
Please
mean,
share with us how it
look,
made a difference.
I was in Bombay at that time, right?
Hmm.
My job would have taken me probably somewhere else, apart from Delhi. Could be in Delhi, could have been somewhere else. I
Right.
probably would have become chef. I may have gone abroad. I may have had
Yes.
a, you know, successful life, but
Yeah.
I think I probably won't have the kind of connection that I have with my family now that, had I kind of gone abroad and everything. So that's definitely one thing that has happened. And
Mm-hmm.
I see my batchmates working, somebody is a general manager in a hotel, somebody is a executive chef. Uh, I mean, I'll give you an example. There is a batchmate of mine. He always tells me, कि यार मेरे को तेरे से जलन मचती है, तेरी लाइफ मुझे बहुत अच्छी लगती है. He makes more money than me, but he says कि यार I want your kind of life, because like
Wow.
I mean I'm working remotely now. My team works remotely, and I choose my own time. I don't have to get up at 7 in the morning. I can take off whenever I want, and
Mm-hmm.
and you make money on your own terms. Life would have been very very different if that would have not happened. But
So
at the
what
end of
I'm
the day, I'm
hearing
kind of
is,
happy with my life in a way that
so yeah, I was
things
about to
things have
say,
turned out for the better actually.
yeah, I was about to say that what I'm hearing right now is, you, Gaurav, saying I am very, very happy and satisfied with the life I'm living right now. And I
Absolutely,
have no
absolutely,
regrets. Absolutely.
no regrets at all. That's the worst
Beautiful.
thing that you can do here.
Absolutely true. True. At the
I
end
mean,
of
I'm
the day,
still struggling with my health. That tumor obviously hasn't gone away. I'm still struggling, no doubt about it. Health is a major concern for me. But who's got a perfect life? Tell me one guy who's got a perfect life. No? So,
wow,
कुछ ना कुछ तो रहेगा हर किसी की लाइफ में.
that's such a great
I
spirit.
mean,
And
that
I'm sure
acceptance has to be there, no?
amazing. Yes, acceptance is the key, right? Because I see when I go about uh meeting the people, the other leaders
Hmm.
who are actually there out in the field, I actually see them. micromanaging, and in fact they accept it. They say it is very difficult for me, Vasudha, to go off this micromanagement mode. It puts me in a state of anxiety. uh, I mean,
Because they are
it's,
running their business from fear's perspective. कि अगर मैंने अपने
yes,
एम्प्लॉय को अगर एक ये दे दिया तो वो मेरा क्लाइंट लेके चला जाएगा. I mean, it's
yes.
like, in fact, Google has a very good story on this thing. So any tech company, has a source code for their this thing, and for them, this is like their holy grail. So any tech company will obviously like to secure their tech the source code. Google has this thing that the first day that the guy joins in, they just give it away, to the new guy, that this is our source code. They don't even try to hide it कि बॉस गूगल को कोई कॉपी कर लेगा and all that stuff. So that's something that's very important, wherein you're running your business from growth mindset rather than fear mindset.
That's amazing. That differentiation and understanding that is very important. It's all the game of mindset at the end of the day,
It is.
right? So it's lovely that you shared with us how, and there are a lot of people out there who actually need to understand uh, how micromanagement can actually, uh, in fact, dampen their growth. So, what do you think? Micromanage करने से, I mean, how it is dampened?
I mean, look, it troubles you as a business owner because
Yeah.
you have a lot of stress in your life. You feel that everything that has to get done, you have to do it. Nobody else will do anything for you. It is not good for your health. It is not good for your employees' health. It is not good for your attrition. Because the more you micromanage, the more you'll trouble your employees, and then naturally you're looking to you get into that hire and fire game. Then eventually, it I mean, look, I'm not saying you kind of don't manage at all. You have your checks and systems in places. But if I'm calling up somebody 10 times a day, कि क्या हुआ, क्या हुआ, क्या हुआ,
हाँ
I
जी.
mean, you think he'll be able to work if I'm just, on his shoulder every time? So you obviously have your daily meetings and everything, and then you leave it.
Gaurav, you just said that have your checks. What are the checks you maintain? What can be those checks?
Look, you obviously have a place, maybe a software or something wherein you obviously have everything. Technology obviously becomes one part of it, wherein you're using technology to make sure you're on top on everything. You have your
Hmm.
daily meetings, and then you kind of let them work. It's not like I don't have to call them every couple of hours to check, no, कि क्या हुआ, तुमने ये करा कि नहीं करा, ऐसे कैसे करोगे तुम, etc etc. And then people tend to cut corners as well कि मैं सस्ता एम्प्लॉय रख लेता हूँ, पैसा बचा लेता हूँ. बट इवेंचुअली व्हाट हैपेंस इज दैट इफ यू हायर somebody who's senior enough, you know he'll he might cost you more, but he'll get more job done for you in a better way, which will give you quality time in your life as well, no?
Tell me a little bit more about this thought behind having someone who's better than you.
Oh, this is very important. In fact, this is one of the hiring mantras that I follow. I mean, this again comes from Google. I actually read a book, from one of
Hmm.
their ex-VP HR. He kind of
Hmm.
outlined the entire hiring strategy of Google in that. One of the things he mentioned there is that, when you're hiring, you have to hire up. And when you say hire up, it means the person that you're hiring has to be better than you in that department at least, you know. So if I am hiring somebody in sales, he should be able to do better sales than me. If I am hiring somebody as a recruiter for my company, he should be a better recruiter than me. That's how you hire, basically, you know.
Hmm.
So that's, and for us, people like to work remotely as well these days. So you can get good talent, when you're not short of talent then, because I'm now right now I'm looking at finding a talent pan India, wherein if I'm like looking for a particular office location, then I'm kind of stuck up with people that I can look at. So that option
Hmm.
opens up a lot of options for me. Then you can be very very choosy about who you want to be in your in your company and everything. And so that's very important, hiring better people than you.
Hmm. Very interesting. Okay. So, see, in every business or I mean, any kind of profession, why just business? Yeah. So every professional journey has its
Mm.
own curve. Yeah. So something in which happened during your professional journey's curve, which has impacted you deeply. Some instance. Would you like to share that instance with us, which has impacted you deeply
Yeah,
in
देखो,
your
couple of
whole
things. One, of course, is the injury part that I just spoke about. That kind
right?
of changed the direction of my life completely.
True.
And then, taking the decision to start on my own. Uh, Starting on your own obviously was a very, very interesting and very, very this thing, because I still remember my first sales that we did. That was, I think, about 3, 4 months after I started. That was very, very sweet.
Okay. So, what is it you think helps people develop a trust in in an organization or in a franchise or in a brand? What do you think it is that
Yeah,
helps
देखो,
people? Huh.
in my business, I'll tell you, we are in the process of helping people find job. I'll give you
Right.
this is a real life story actually. There was a very senior gentleman who used to be the general manager. I
Hmm.
was in touch with him all through from 2010 or something or till date. When I was in a job, that person was actually out of job at that time. I did not help him find a job, to be very honest, but I was nice to him. I said, "Oh, sir, I'm sorry. Don't worry. I'll try and help you find something." As a senior fellow.
Hmm.
Now, when I started my business, he was one of the initial few big clients for me, and he told me very categorically. He said, "Gaurav, जब मेरे पास job नहीं थी ना, you were one of the very few consultants who actually was very nice to me, because a lot of other
Right.
consultants were like
You
very,
were
very
kind to
rude.
him.
I was kind to him. I didn't find. I Let me be very, very upfront. I did not help him find a job, but I was just nice with him. I said,
You
"Sir,
know
don't
what?
worry." So
I
that
feel as
he actually told me this thing on my face. He said, "Gaurav, you were very nice to me. That's why I'm kind of trusting you right now." And he was actually one of my earliest clients. So you never know how it might come back to you. So
as
being nice
we
obviously does help you.
yeah, yeah, as leaders we discount the quality of being kind and compassionate and be an empathetic listener
Hmm,
sometimes so much because we are so task and only number oriented. I think being accepted and trusted also needs to be one of the goals of being in that place, and that can
hmm.
come only with compassion. So it's lovely the story you told us how your compassion also helps build the trust in you.
Absolutely.
And I think it's a practice very
Lot of
heavily.
lot of my clients and candidates have become friends over a period of time. I may not have gotten them a job, but it's nice that they just pick up the phone and kind of call up. You know, we share a lot of things. I've stayed with a lot of them in their hotels when I went on vacations. So it is not about whether you help somebody find a job or not, but at least building that relationship is very, very important.
Yeah, staying connected, that
Staying
human
connected.
connectedness. So, what are your particular habits or practices? Because we're talking about, we just happen to talk about some of your like practicing compassion or empathy. One of the interesting things you said, not micromanaging. So, what are your particular conscious habits or practices you follow on an everyday basis to kind of maintain your position and your mission to lead the people you get an opportunity to lead?
So, couple of things that I do on my own, which helps me put me in the state, is the meditation and visualization. That's very important for me. If I miss it couple of days, like I have missed it for last couple of days, I somehow don't feel very good about it. So
Mm.
that's very, very important. Having your next goal in mind. What is the next step that you're going to do? That's very, very important. So that, daily meditation of half an hour at least does help me in putting my state in putting myself in a better state of mind.
That's very interesting. I mean, none of the leaders who've been on my podcast has shared something like this. And it seems like a very valuable hack to stay focused, to be
It
able
is,
to
it is.
to be
In fact,
able
one
to
of the game changers for
visualize.
me has been, meditation and visualization. Just
This,
focusing on your next step, like what are you going to do next in your
hmm,
business? That
yeah,
that's very, very important, you know.
yeah. So kind of reflecting on your goals or maybe whatever it is that you have to do today or
Absolutely,
this month or this year.
absolutely.
Interesting. Okay. So Gaurav, uh, I mean, you just shared that your team is remote. So how do you manage to keep your team organized? And because even if they are working remotely, there are always a lot of interconnections between the roles and responsibilities of the various team members. They're somehow kind of feeding into each other to deliver better. So, how do you manage this remote team? And then there are times when there's a crisis or something which has backfired. How do you manage it?
So technology obviously becomes very important part of it, wherein how you're managing your work obviously becomes very, very important. Second aspect is having role clarity. Like, you said interconnection. So
Right.
having that role clarity that this is your job and this is your job and this is the workflow that we have to follow, that becomes very, very important,
Will
and
you
then
elaborate a bit more on the role clarity thing?
so like I've got two BDMs. Okay.
Hmm.
I'll give you again another example. There was one client which was already on board with me. And then the second BDM kind of got me the same client. I said, look, this client belongs to this other person, so you don't follow up on this. So that role clarity becomes very, very important, that this is what you have to do and this is what I want from you. So setting your expectations right is very, very important from employees, that this is the daily goal that we are looking at. This is what I need from you. And then, having them to deliver on that. So you have to be tough at times as well. I mean, it's not all goody goody at times, all the times. You have to be tough, but then you have to be respectful. And this, I mean, we've all heard stories of shouting, abusing, and all that stuff. We've all seen videos as well, online.
Right.
Uh, in today's day and age, that's just pathetic, actually, to be very honest.
Right. A little more honest, Gaurav. I really kind of feel lot of sympathy for the leaders, or I would rather call them bossy people. These bosses, I feel a lot of sympathy for them.
Hmm.
Their yelling and shouting is rather an indication of something which is going off balance within. And I
Absolutely.
wish,
And
I
in
wish
fact, there are
HR
hmm,
starts to address that as well now.
see, a lot of big companies have their checks and processes in place. So
Part of
you s-
part
you
of
know
their well-being. It
yeah,
means something's not right in their life.
you know
It happens. I think banking is one sector where this yelling is
every
very
sector is there.
prevalent. Yeah, uh, I feel it is. It's more prevalent there.
I find it everywhere.
Yeah, perhaps because there's a lot of money involved and maybe it just adds to their stress. But that's something which needs to be looked into as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And to
Okay,
be
so
very honest, that actually affects the bottom line of the company as well.
true.
So if you have an employee which is being shouted at, how do you think, why do you think he'll survive there? He's there
Right,
because he's not getting a job somewhere else. And the moment he gets something, he's gone. And then you have to
right.
find somebody else. You have to train somebody else. Then again, it's actually affecting your bottom line as a company.
So, what do you suggest? How can we cultivate this compassion, this empathy? How can this be cultivated in organizations?
See, the company culture has to come. I mean, if I were to talk about SMEs, they have to focus on company culture. I think is probably one of the most important.
What
aspects.
could be there
I'll
in
give
their
you an
culture?
example. I'll give you a
Huh.
couple of examples, which
Hmm.
are the now I'll give you this correlation between company culture and success of the company.
Hmm.
Let's take an example of IPL. Which are the most successful teams in IPL? I don't know if you follow cricket or not. Do
I
you?
do.
You
I
do?
mean, yeah,
Which are the
my
most successful teams in
I mean, I
IPL?
would, for me, it's always one, uh, Kolkata Riders.
Yeah. Like, again, Kolkata Riders had their
Because
best time.
because of Shah Rukh Khan.
Kolkata Rider had their
He's
best time, in
he's
IPL
the king.
when they had stability in their company. When Gautam Gambhir was the captain,
Yeah,
they had a clear leader, they had a clear vision, and then they had a
yeah,
clear direction where to go. As soon as he
yeah.
was not there, they've had a lot of changes. Two teams, the third team which are most successful are Mumbai Indians and Chennai Super
Right,
Kings. They are the
right.
ones who had most stability in their company, in their teams, and if you look at Gujarat, Hardik Pandya's team, they're also following on the same footsteps,
Hmm.
so the
Yeah,
company which has more stability, wherein people are secure,
right.
but this, just bold this word, people are secure in their
Yes,
jobs. People know that I'm
right.
going to play tomorrow. People know that they have a job tomorrow. They are the ones who are actually going to go out and give it their best. अगर मेरे को as an employee, if I'm worried whether I'll be there or not, you think I'll be able to focus on the job? Half my time is actually going to go on applying on jobs. So how do you think my productivity will be? So if you
Hmm.
look at Mumbai Indians, if you look at Chennai Super Kings, they've had one captain throughout. They've had Chennai obviously is one of those teams which doesn't even change their combination. Their
Yeah,
11 plays throughout, same 11 plays throughout this thing.
right.
There is no, you know, you don't see Dhoni or Rohit Sharma shouting at anybody or anything on those sort of things, that you see with other
Yeah,
thing. There is no changing of captain every year. There is no changing of management every year. They've had same management all throughout the year, which again is my this thing. Company culture means better productivity. Better company culture means better productivity. That's very, very
right.
important. So if you can create that sense of security in your employees, that yes, I trust you. I know you'll get the job done for me. It all starts, how you do
Can
your
you
hiring.
can you give me just two very particular, incised uh, points or ways to actually cultivate this sense of security? What exactly you think companies can do to cultivate this security?
See, first of all, hiring, of course, it all starts from hiring the right person.
Hmm.
Because if you not hired the right person, he'll not get the job done. So your interview process has to be strong that way. And then obviously,
Okay.
once you have that employee in your this thing, let him do the job that you hired him to do and get out of his way. Set
Hmm.
your expectations. This is what I want
Hmm.
from you. Okay, this is what we have to do. Provide him with all the tools and opportunities that he needs, and get
Very
out of his way,
important.
and then empower him. Ki, boss, teri company hai. You run it the way you want. I want the result from you. And then obviously
Right.
you do your daily reviews. How is it going and all that stuff. But then he knows that, okay, yeah, I mean, this is my baby. Somebody's actually, we humans actually have this thing that if somebody trusts us, we more or less we feel obligated to fulfill on that trust.
This is powerful. Right.
Suppose if I were to give you, say, look, please take care of this thing for me. If I were to give it to you, you will feel obligated कि नहीं यार मेरे को, even if we were strangers, you will feel obligated कि यार नहीं मेरे को इस चीज का ध्यान रखना है. So
Right.
we humans have that tendency to, you know have people trust us, so we tend to keep that trust. That's very important for me.
Right. Amazing. So, Gaurav, the one I'm going to ask you now is my favorite question, and I always ask this question at the end of the podcast, no matter what. So, I know, and I put this disclaimer before I shoot the question itself. I know you would say, Vasudha, I am yet to achieve a lot more, and which I believe in. And I personally wish you achieve a lot more uh, than where you are, but still, let's consider you have achieved everything you wanted to. So, what would you say has been your greatest achievement and why?
Till date,
Yes,
starting on my own, having the courage to start on my own.
beautiful.
Because a lot of people can't take the first step, no?
Yeah,
So, that was very important for me.
amazing. So, on that note, wishing you all the best, not just from my side, even from the side of the reboot community. May you flourish a lot more and help a lot more lives being lit even brighter.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.